Damon, once again another BBL rookie over here in Newcastle Eagles. BBL season is a couple of months old. How have you found settling yourself to Newcastle and the BBL so far?
It's good. I have no complaints. The Newcastle fans and organization welcomed me with open arms. We got off to a good start, just trying to make progress from there.
And the league, how have you found it so far for yourself, how to play in, as a level of game and so on?
It's good. We have a bullseye on our backs every night. Teams are, giving us their best game, so that makes it more competitive for us. We try to compete every day in practice and make sure we're the best that we can be. And so when we go out and play teams in the BBL, we got to try to make sure we're ready every night and play at our highest quality.
Yeah, and a team like Eagles, there's lots of expectation that they won all the trophies last year, and this year, as a pretty decent start, you only lost one so far.
Yeah, the Leicester Riders came in and really gave us some trouble on the defensive end. And so that was good for us because sometimes, you can feel really confident going into a season. At that point, we hadn't lost yet. So when they came in and they gave us a really tough challenge, it kind of, changed our mentality that, we have to start practicing harder, focus more, try to raise our level of quality as a team every day. And that's what we're trying to do now.
Yeah, in the BBL, the games you sometimes come very thick and fast. You sometimes play 2 games in 2 days. So if you lose one, you don't have to dwell on it too long. And same if you win one, you can't sort of celebrate for too long.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of teams in this league, and we play, maybe 2 games in 1 weekend. And so we have to be ready no matter what circumstance happens. And if that means losing one night, which we don't want to do, but if it does happen, you got to turn right around and start working at it, get your game plan ready. And that's something that we're trying to do and trying to get better at every day.
Yeah. The BBL, you haven't quite played quite all teams yet, so not all fans have seen you. So for the teams and fans that haven't seen you, what sort of player are you? What are your strengths on the court?
I think when I'm playing out there, I'm tenacious. I try to be stable for the rest of my teammates. Offensively, I try to be opportunistic because we got a lot of scores on this team, and so sometimes as a point guard, you got to fill the gaps where you need them. So hopefully they can just see it, calm, relaxed, hard-working guy out there.
And so far, which of the teams or which player has been the toughest player for yourself to play against in this league so far?
I think the guys from Leicester do a good job of using their athleticism. They got a lot of guys that are long and athletic, and that can give you problems throughout the course of the game at different stages. I haven't seen everyone, so I'm still looking forward to seeing every point guard, and then maybe I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah. And how did your move to Eagles come about over the summer?
They contacted me, obviously in the summertime after the season. We played each other in Holland last year in a tournament. That's where they saw me, and it kind of went from there.
So you've seen Eagles, so you knew a little bit about BBL and at least one team over in this league before you came here.
Yeah, I knew they liked to shoot because when we played them in Christmas, it was like a shootout at the OK Corral. So that's always fun to play in a team that is offensively very aggressive.
Yeah. And in the previous years, where have you played yourself before you came over here?
I played 3 years in Belgium for a team called Oakby All-Star, and then I played 1 year in Holland for Landstede Zwolle, or Zwolle Landstede, and then now I'm here in the Eagles, 5th season.
And as a player, what are your goals sort of in long-term future? Would you see yourself playing long-term BBL or in Europe or back in North America somewhere? I
think, Fab is a great example of someone that can, make a career and a lifestyle out of playing over here. So it's definitely an opportunity. This is my 5th season, so I've kind of seen the different qualities and different levels of basketball in Europe, because it is different. Every country has different leagues and different players. So I see myself just trying to win a championship here, trying to win as many games as possible, and then for me personally, just trying to get better. That's the thing that I try to focus on, is always trying to improve on something, try to make myself a better basketball player.
You mentioned the difference between leagues. A lot of big guys, you're not a big guy yourself, a lot of the big guys say when I come to BBL, it takes them time to adjust to the way the game is called over here and played over here. How is it for your sort of smaller players, point guard?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that this league is dominated by guards and wings. There's not a lot of true centers, and a lot of that time is because there's just not as many of them. You know, there's not a lot of 7-footers walking around on this planet.
Could take one skill from any basketball player, past or present. What would you take, and from which player?
I think, you know, as a point guard, you got to try to emulate the best point guards, and I think if you want to try to take a skill from someone, I would say, you know, John Stockton's ability to read the screen and roll. You know, he made a living with Karl Malone, just pick and roll, and that's all he did. And you know, he was really, really good at it.
Yeah, and then before the game or on a game day, do you have any superstitions yourself that you need to do on the court, on the locker room, or before you come to the gym?
You know, I have my routines. You know, I try to always make sure I'm to the game early so I can get my shots up. Try to eat the same foods, so that I'm consistent with that. You know, it's more of just making sure, you know, you're focused and ready for the game. So I do drink coffee before the game. So maybe you could say
Coffee, no Red Bull.
So, you know, make sure you're focused and alert. So.
And if you take back sort of a few years, well, I don't know how many years, but what was it that first made you start playing basketball? What was the little spark there in your childhood or teenagers when you started?
I think it was my brothers beating me up. You know, when you have 2 older brothers and, you know, they're out there playing in the driveway or the park, you know, you want to go play with them, and then, you know, just having that competition, you know, within your family, you know, drives you to be a better player. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. We already sort of mentioned that the Eagles are a team that wants to win everything, but has the coach or the team, have you set any goals for the season, what you want to do apart from, of course, going to every game and trying to win it?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you set the highest expectations, you got to come into the season expecting to win every game and every trophy, and you know, you want to try to play your best every minute of every game. Obviously, we've lost 1 game, but you know, we're not trying to take a backseat to anybody. And I think a lot of guys on our team have that confidence to say, you know, we're going to try to win every game. I mean, the ball might not go that way, but you know, the goal is to never, you know, back down to anybody.
And as you said, you've played a few years abroad already. How do you find it living on this side of the Atlantic and not sort of being with your friends, family, and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, when you're away from your family, it's always difficult to adjust because, you know, that's something that you're used to. Going to college and university in the U.S. gives that opportunity for you. So for 4 years, I was away from my family. You know, college basketball is, you know, very, very demanding. You know, practicing on Thanksgiving, practicing during Christmas, you know, playing, you know, through the winter months. So you start to get used to it then. So when you came overseas, or when you come overseas, it's kind of just that natural progression. The flight's just, instead of 2 hours long, it's now, you know, now it's 8 hours long. And instead of speaking English, you're speaking Dutch. Or I don't even know what they speak up here, Geordie.
Yeah,
it's almost as hard as Dutch.
Right, well, that's it. Thank you very much, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah.